all working mothers, working parents, I think, but especially working mothers feel guilty.
I've got to stop listening to the voices here and the voices there saying that I'm doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong.
When did we decide that our kids had to be the absolute focus of our lives, and if they weren't, they were somehow going to be harmed?
Being a mom and having the guilt and all of that pretty much blows. But God, you can't buy a good time like this. It's so much fun.
And it wasn't because I
Exactly.
wasn't excited
That's
to
what
go.
I would go crazy. I'm just not that mother.
Hi, this is Heather Armstrong from dooce.com, and today I wanted to ask you guys a bit of a prescient question. I'm actually leaving town for a couple of days, and I travel a lot with my job. There's a lot of guilt that I feel in leaving my child, and I'm not. It's not like I'm leaving her with monsters or pedophiles or people who are going to, prevent her from watching Dora 4 hours a day. Am I shortchanging my daughter because I'm spending so much of my energy on, or at least just this portion of my energy on my job and on traveling and furthering my career? So I guess I'm wondering if you guys have any experience with reconciling the emotions of wanting to give your child 100% of your attention, but knowing that you should give a little bit of it to yourself in other ways of enriching yourself.
Should you feel guilty? Yes. No, you should not feel guilty. But, I know you do, because I feel guilty all the time. I don't travel as much as you do, but even just not being mentally available can make me feel like, I'm failing as a mother.
I think all working mothers, working parents, I think, but especially working mothers feel guilty when we're working. I had actually a really hard time recently. I took 3 weeks to go on a book tour, and it was the longest I'd ever left my son, and it was difficult, and I felt horrible.
I knew we were going to have a question on guilt sooner or later, and that was going to be particularly effective on me, being a mother and a Catholic mother at that. Feeling guilt implies that you have some sort of choice about what you're doing. Some people have all the money and all the time and all the help in the world. And then there are those of us who, like me, I'm an unemployed mother of 3 in the Silicon Valley with a mortgage that would choke a horse, and I'm not working, and it is the pits. I would give anything to have a job.
Mindy, you brought up the whole Catholic thing, and I hadn't thought about this when I posed the question, but I was brought up Mormon. I grew up thinking I was going to be the mother with the apron on, and I thought mothers were supposed to be that way, and that mothers who spent any time working were shortchanging their children. And here I am now, working, a good portion of my life.
In order to be the best version of ourselves as mothers, we have to be the best versions of ourselves as women, as writers, as teachers, as painters, as whatever it is that makes us feel good.
When did we decide that our kids had to be the absolute focus of our lives, and if they weren't, they were somehow going to be harmed? How is it a good message for your child that they're the center of the universe?
I may just take that line and start screaming it at Lita next time she refuses to eat a chicken nugget. Because I'm going to be like, you're not the center of the universe. That would be Brad Pitt.
If I'm able to get a lot accomplished, I can completely disengage from work and totally focus on my kids. It's the days when I don't have the time necessarily to put much work or to do much work that I become distracted, that I'm trying to play with my son, feed my daughter, and type at the same time, which makes me bad at all 3.
I think that we all need to cut ourselves some slack. Guilt is all around us. It ain't going away. It's ever been this way. It ever shall be this way. People are constantly finding the balance.
I think it's mostly what we're comfortable with in terms of what is fulfilling me, what do I know is good for my daughter, and let's work that out between us. So I wanted to thank you guys. This was actually really cathartic for me, and I did not have to go pay my therapist $100. So, awesome. Thank you.
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.